What's going on, everyone? We're
Hello.
back to the Pound and Slash Marvel Media Podcast.
Pounded.
Yeah. We've actually had, honestly, a very small week in terms of news.
Yeah.
However, we did have episode 2 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Right. The
And it was called the Star-Spangled Man.
Yep.
So, for an introduction, I wanted to do this on the fly because I didn't want to give my buddy Ralph here any time to plan for this.
Oh, no. Okay.
Are you ready?
Sure.
All right.
Let's go.
What is your favorite Marvel movie all time?
Avengers Infinity War?
Infinity War?
Yeah, Infinity War. I like all the subplots leading up to one plot, which we knew... We even had some glimmer of hope that we probably thought, okay, what if they win? Even that small part, even though we heard at every review, news, everywhere, they were like saying, oh, they might lose. Because like, people were saying, oh, they might lose. I'm like, bro, they've been winning since like 10 years. Like, there's no way. I'm like, there's no way, like, what's like their 12th or 13th movie they were going to, win. And I'm like, oh, they lost. And then it just says Thanos will come back. And I'm like, what?
Right.
And I remember, like, somebody said in the movie theater, they wanted their money back. One of them actually wanted to fight the movie person. I'm like, she hasn't even seen the movie yet. And it was just good times, good moments, but yeah.
I would actually have to agree. That is my...
Oh, yeah.
For the longest, it was Spider-Man 2.
Okay. Yeah, it was. That was Spider-Man 1 for me.
We're talking about the Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire.
Yep, Sam Raimi, yep.
Spider-Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was like the perfect superhero movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then Infinity War came out, and then I was like, this actually is my favorite superhero movie all time. And then Endgame came out, and I was like, that's my second favorite superhero movie.
Endgame was good.
Endgame was really good too.
It's just Infinity War just kind of nudged it though.
Infinity War, the reason why it ended up being my favorite was actually, honestly, probably a lot pettier. I was honestly thrilled the bad guy won.
Yeah.
Because so many times, every superhero movie, it's always the heroes win.
Right.
They might show that the bad guys are off brooding, getting ready for something bigger,
right.
but the heroes
they either die or they escape, and it's like, okay.
The heroes always win, and being a fan of villains, because honestly, the villains are what make the heroes.
Right.
It was just great to see.
I mean, and Thanos, you should have gone for the head. Boom, and then you just hear Thor's like, no, and then boom, and like, oh, he did it, and we just see in the theater just got silent. It was so crazy.
You totally just jumped to Endgame. By the way, we're talking about Infinity War.
I said Infinity War.
But he said he should have gone for the head, and then he just did it. That was the immediate jump to Endgame.
That was wow. I did not know.
The head cutting off was Endgame, buddy. That's how it started.
Oh yeah. Then he went for the neck. Oh.
Okay. Sorry, guys.
We try.
Ralph lost train of thought there.
I lost train of thought. I am so sorry, but yeah,
Ralph is derailed.
Derailed. You're terrible.
All right, so as always, we are going to start off with the last week in Marvel news. Ralph, why don't you give us our first? You don't have to read it word for word.
Right.
So but you're more than welcome to. So.
Right. Basically, the Hawkeye spinoff series is going development, and they're producing a character by the name of Echo. Now, she's a deaf Native American. And she's there to imitate any opponent's fighting style. And which is, she's supposed to be also...
She's kind of like Taskmaster.
Taskmaster, yep. And they said that they have a character in mind to play, like, their first deaf, like, person playing. And I don't know, I'm not trying to butcher her name, but that's pretty interesting that they're having a character who plays in that series. So, well, that's all I got for that. So that's pretty cool.
It'll be interesting. So here's my thing. My whole situation with that is they are already planning another Disney Plus series.
Yeah, they're already.
For a character I've never heard of.
Yeah, I don't know who this person is.
When you told me the news and I was reading about it and putting all the news together, I was like, I got to thinking about it. I've never heard of the character Echo.
Yeah,
ever.
I've never heard of this character. Maybe somebody can gotta break it down because I don't know who this character is. Right. So.
All right, so the next part of news we have. Kevin Feige, again, the main running head guy of the MCU, when asked about the Young Avenger rumors, because there's a lot of rumors going around that they're building up the Young Avengers.
Yep.
He said, and I quote, "As a comic fan, anything in the comics is always our inspiration and our guide point. how those things come together and in what shape, it's always subverting expectations. It's always half the fun as meeting them. But, yes, you can certainly see that Phase 4 is introducing all sorts of new types of characters with the potential being endless. Now all of us at Marvel Studios feel like Nick Fury at the end of Iron Man 1. As new actors and new performers come in and we tell them they're part of a bigger universe, they just now have to do the work required to build their audience. I'm happy to say everybody that's here, certainly where I'm sitting now, is doing amazing work, and I can't wait to show them the world. So, this is why I like Kevin Feige, but also why I dislike Kevin Feige. Is there's never a just yes or no answer.
No, you're going to get a riddle.
Well,
man.
and here's the thing. He did not deny that it was happening.
Right.
That's why when he does deny something, you kind of have to take it seriously.
Right,
because
when he does it, yeah.
He rarely ever does it.
Right.
Like last week we had talked about Cap.
Right.
Not coming back. And
right.
Kevin Feige
saying that he might come back, or then he he denied.
Well,
He's
Steve Rogers.
Steve Rogers, yeah, not Steve Rogers. Then he say he denied it.
Yeah, he straight up denied it. He said no,
denied
he's not.
Yep.
He's not.
That he wasn't coming back at all.
So, yeah. So go ahead with the next one.
All right, and this one is interesting, which hopefully they keep it forever. Spider-Man 3 leaks confirmed 2 Marvel crossovers. We'll see Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, which that is so tight. Magic and whip. I love it, man. That's it.
So what's funny is when Ralph first brought this to my attention, he had read somewhere that they had said that both Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's
stunt doubles
were there. But the actual article that had posted it was only Andrew Garfield, and I think that's the dangerous thing about news and getting it from third, fourth hand.
Right. Because I was like, yo, what?
Somebody probably seen that and then was like, oh,
yeah,
I bet Tobey Maguire's was there too.
Right. So I read it. I thought it said Tobey Maguire. I thought it said both of them there, but it was just Andrew Garfield. But more than likely, he probably will be there.
There's still a good chance he's going to be in it.
But Doctor Strange, which we kind of figured that was kind of coming around the corner there too.
But to be honest, even if Tobey Maguire isn't, which again he probably will be. I mean his Dr. Octopus is going to be in it.
Right,
There's
come
a very
on.
good chance
it's Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2. Come on now.
But even if he's not, I'm cool with just Andrew Garfield. I'm
totally cool with that.
I liked Andrew Garfield more than Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man.
Right.
And now as Peter Parker, Tobey knocked it out of the park.
Right. That was Tobey, like all the way. Unfortunately, Andrew Garfield, he was playing a Chad.
Oh no, tiny knives, my weakness.
Right. He was walking in Spider-Man 2. He put that car. He said, "Nope. I'm not gonna be hit by this car." I'm like, bro, that's ongoing traffic. You're about to get hit, man.
All right. So the next bit of news. Now this is more not having to do with movies, but it references movies, which is why it's on here.
And that's pretty cool.
So Keurig Books, who are the people that have also put out, I think it's Quirk Books, since I can't read
books.
Yep. Quirk Books is the company that put out, what was it? They Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Oh, okay.
And so they basically take these classic works and they turn them into a modern thing, or take modern things and turn them classical. You know, they do some really weird things.
Right.
They've also got already out a complete collection of Shakespearean Star Wars written books.
Badass. I like that.
And they announced that they are going to be putting out it's called William Shakespeare's Avengers, the Complete Works, which features all 4 Avengers movies, so Avengers, Age of Ultron, Infinity War, and Endgame, as being told with Shakespearean appropriate dialogue and outfits. So the art in it is even going to be them wearing
like the modern or the past the fluff. Okay, that's gonna be cool. That's gonna be tight.
And as an example, in terms of Shakespearean dialogue, Groot will say things like "'Tis I, Groot" instead of "I am Groot." So here's the thing: this will definitely have a very small niche of people that will get into it.
Yeah.
Maybe more than just because.
It's
Avengers.
Avengers. You got so.
Let's be fair. A lot of people don't, especially nowadays, don't like reading in that old English manner because it's hard to understand because we didn't grow up then.
Right.
Or grow up with it. But I'm actually thinking about picking it up. It's only going to be like $35-$40. It's 4 books. And it'll be fun, at the very least, to look through the pictures. I'll read them myself, but I know it'll have some fun pictures.
And it has Avengers, Age of Ultron, and Infinity War, Endgame. I mean, come on now. That's a priceless role. So.
Right. All right, go ahead.
All right. Jamie Alexander, also known as Lady Sif. She was in Thor 1, Thor 2. and of course a little bit of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., revealed on Twitter that she finished filming her scenes in Thor: Love and Thunder, which at first when you brought it up, I was like, wait, she's still around? Like, hold on, fam.
So what's funny is I heard rumors that they had killed her off behind the scenes.
Okay, yeah, right. So they killed her off. I was like, what?
So when I read this bit of news, I was like, yes, because Lady Sif is one of my favorite Thor characters.
Right.
She is a badass.
No, she's a badass. I was like kind of shocked. I was like, wait, she exists?
It's like, for me, in terms of the Thor universe, like, you got Thor, who's my favorite heroes, because Loki would actually be the top.
Yeah. Loki.
But you got Thor, and then you got Valkyrie,
right,
and then Lady Sif is right there.
And I was like,
that's my top 3 in terms of the hero section of Thor.
And I was shocked. I was like, when you told me that, I was like, who? I was like, who is this woman? Where did she? Wait, what happened? So that's good at least. So at least they got her filming. So hopefully she has a bigger role, because her role was kind of big. Then it just kind of trickled down to nothingness towards Thor 2. So I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe she'll have a big role this time, hopefully. So
right.
Cool.
All right. My bit of small news here. Captain Marvel 2 and Ant-Man 3 apparently begin filming in May. They're ready to start filming, but I think they're finishing up a couple things.
Right.
And then they're shifting over to, if I remember correctly, it said it was mid to late May was when they were planning on starting to film both these movies.
Right.
Which, I mean, it's just exciting to know that they're doing it. We knew they were going to.
Right.
That was never a question, but it's cool that we're seeing things progress, people. We're finally moving forward.
We are moving forward, getting to some type of normality here, or normal. So that's good at least.
All right, and if you want to read the last bit of news, like I said, it was a slow week in news, guys.
Yeah, it really wasn't. So, and this one, I told you, you told me this one, and I said, you should post this. Like, you should put this in the news. So, Tom Holland posted a selfie of himself on Instagram saying, I never post shit like this, but it's our last day, so fuck it. Thank you. And he was thanking his trainer, Daffy Gabber, for making everything about his job better. Love you, pal. So basically, he posted a selfie of himself was it shirtless? He said it was shirtless, right?
Yeah, it was a physique photo.
Physique photo. It's like he's prime ready for this next Spider-Man movie. So it's like, okay.
So here's the thing. The reason I put this in the news and why it was so exciting.
Oh yeah,
I now have a new respect for Tom Holland. Yeah. Because I have never seen any of the other Marvel heroes post both the words shit and fuck in the same
boat.
Without there being some anger. But
right.
Nah, he was like, nah, I never posted shit like this.
Right, he's so funny. Like, okay, like, all right.
I'm like, all right, I can get behind this.
I get behind it now. Like, dang, that's what's up.
All right, so that's the basic news. Now we move on to my favorite segment that's not breaking down the entire show. This is the Cap, the Hela, and the MODOCK. Again, this is our iteration of the good, the bad, and the ugly, where we take 3 news headlines and separate them between the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I'll start with the good. The good, it is being reported that Disney and Marvel is rumored to be interested in getting Christopher Nolan to helm several possible projects. Those projects are including, that we know of so far, the X-Men. Well, they call it a reboot. Technically, it'd be the X-Men being in the MCU, so I wouldn't necessarily consider that a technical reboot.
Right. It's just, they're just going to be in there. Right.
X-Men, Daredevil, and an actual Inhumans reboot. Now, that's a reboot.
Right.
Now, of those 3 things, obviously, this is more just rumored, but obviously Marvel would be interested in getting a director the caliber of Christopher Nolan.
Right.
Especially after Christopher Nolan did an amazing job with at least one of those 3 Batman movies.
One of those 3 Batman movies, yeah.
I did not like the other 2. Not Nolan's fault, okay? The first one, I didn't like the villain. The third one, it wasn't the villain I wanted.
Right. But the second one, hey, solid. He was your Joker, solid.
It's my 3rd favorite superhero movie.
Right, it's like he got his own.
Out of those 3, I would honestly want him to do Daredevil. I feel like Daredevil is more up his alley.
Right.
In terms of tone,
darkness,
like
almost like
gritty.
like a Batman situation. Oh, okay, I can see that. I wouldn't mind an X-Men reboot. I wouldn't mind because we've had some.
No, we're gonna get new X-Men.
Yeah.
It's just which one of these 3 would you rather?
Yeah, I would rather him do the X-Men reboot. I would rather him, reboot that because I would like to see that dark, gritty team that that's not really all jokey. And if he is what they say is true, it would be a lot more up there. I mean,
honestly, I'd be for him doing all of them.
Yeah, even Inhumans for that matter, because Inhumans was like a what?
I liked Inhumans. But
you like?
Get into that. All right, you want to go ahead and read the
I got you.
The Hela?
Oh dear.
Now this is gonna be funny if you listen to last week's episode.
Black Widow has been pushed back July 9th and will also premiere on Disney Plus for $30. Why? Also, Shang-Chi has been pushed back to September 3rd. Why? And on top of that, Loki, the 5th episode, is also going to be at the same time.
Okay, that was eventually going to happen anyways.
Oh, yeah, that was going to happen anyway because it came out June 11th.
It was actually going to be Shang-Chi that was going to be
Yeah,
with
Shang-Chi, but it's just like,
Now.
what is in theaters, though?
Here's the thing.
Why,
Here's
Lord?
the thing. This is why it's under bad, because last week I had it under good. That was the good bit of news.
Right, that was the good bit
that
of
they were
news.
thinking about releasing it on Disney Plus, which that's still good in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
Here's the bad: is then they pushed everything back.
Right, they pushed everything
It is
back.
going to be officially over 1 year since the last time
Yeah.
a Marvel movie has been in theaters. By the time Black Widow finally comes out,
Yeah, shit, man, that's crazy.
the
man.
$30 thing doesn't bother me.
Yeah, no, it's just
because I'll honestly save money that way.
yeah.
Shang-Chi getting pushed back also doesn't bother me, but what also makes this interesting is we're going to have, I think it's like 5 different Marvel movies, both MCU and not,
Right,
in the span of 6 months.
right. So
Because we get like Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Venom,
Loki.
Well, that's not a movie.
Well, that's not a movie. Sorry, not a movie.
Damn it, Ralph. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, right,
And I think they had one more Marvel movie. I just don't remember.
right.
Black Widow. Oh no, because there's only 4.
So
Black
but
Widow.
see, there's
I
no
missed all 4 of
breathing
them.
room. There's literally
Yeah,
no
there's
breathing
like no
room. There's
breathing
it's
room.
like right.
And
like
we still
right
don't
for
know
this
when the later series are supposed to come out this year that are still supposed to come out this year. Like, we know when Loki comes out.
Right.
And then we don't know when anything else does.
That's it. Like, that's literally...
And this year alone, we're still supposed to get What If, Hawkeye.
Oh, shoot. Forgot about those. Yeah. The MODOCK is coming.
MODOK, but that's Hulu. That's kind of their own thing.
Right.
Has nothing to do with the MCU.
Right. But yeah, it's just a lot. So much right now. Jesus.
Speaking of MODOK, the MODOK, which is the ugly, co-creator of the Winter Soldier comic character Ed Brubaker. I don't know how you pronounce his last name.
Yeah, something like
admitted he has mixed feelings about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Says everyone has been kind to him, but at the same time, all creators got for creating Winter Soldier and his story is a thanks here or there. He gets sick to his stomach, though, when his inbox fills with people wanting comments on the show. So I have this under ugly because what this shows is an ex-creator's jealousy.
Yeah, it sounds just a little jaded in a way.
Right.
Jaded, yeah.
Like, he was a hired-on person who created this character that honestly probably originally wasn't meant to be as big as they ended up becoming.
Right.
Right? But knowing that was his job...
Mm-hmm. He gave a thanks. He gave a thanks. He's so pissed. He's so pissed.
Well, it's to the point where he's actually, from the way the article that I had read was writing it, he's thinking about probably suing Marvel.
Yeah, he's getting
money
money now where he's a little bit, yeah.
Because he wants more than just a thanks. And it's like, bruh, you were just a temp basic artist.
He called him a tip. Like, he's like, yo, bro, you're just a tip, bro. Like, you're
Exactly.
getting a high five. Boom. That's it. He should have stayed with that, man.
It's like, that'd be like me being hired into like another office as a temp.
Right.
Coming up with this new procedure.
Right.
And then getting mad that they use it even after I'm gone.
Right.
Like, come on.
Right. Like, you had your moment. That was cool. And now it's like, bro, now you gotta move on from it, man. You gotta let it go. Let it go, man. Let it go. That's
Lose
funny.
the jealousy.
Oh, God.
All right. And then the last bit of news,
What you got?
which is Falcon and Winter Soldier specific.
Oh. Episode 1, Falcon and Winter Soldier, ranked as the most watched series premiere ever for Disney Plus. Like on Disney Plus, all of it was ranked like what, number 1? I guess.
I didn't think that was not gonna happen. Honestly,
I thought it was gonna happen.
No, that's what I'm saying.
You did.
I didn't think that wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah, because I was not surprised. Like, there's nothing.
I read that and I was like, well, duh.
The
only bit of surprise that might come with it is it beating out the premiere for Mandalorian season 2.
Yeah.
But even then, like, Marvel's honestly at this point,
Marvel's just they kick
a little bigger than Star Wars, because Star Wars has kind of jaded its fans.
Yeah, their fans are. Yeah.
They're not real happy with the overall everything that's happened with it.
Yeah, and Marvel fans are just like, oh, give us more. Here, take my money. Take my money. Like, dude, like, for real. Like, I'm
like,
I'm
you're doing a Squirrel Girl show?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
You're doing what somebody is just deaf. I like it. I'll take it. Take my money, bro. I'll take it.
All right. See, we're actually running through this a lot quicker than we normally do. We're only 20 minutes in and we're already starting the episode breakdown. And we're going to this is not going to be a very long episode of the podcast, guys. For those of you that came in expecting 2 hours,
We are truly sorry. We are super duper sorry.
Although
Next time
most people will probably be thrilled.
Right.
Most people don't like 2-hour podcasts.
Right.
All right, so this is where we break down Season 1, Episode 2 of Falcon and Winter Soldier, the Star-Spangled Man. So the show starts off at a football game.
Right.
We see John, and he's sitting in his locker room.
Yeah,
well, he's kind of walking through his locker room.
Right. He starts out walking, looking at all this stuff. Right.
He sits down, and I'm guessing that's his either current girlfriend or wife.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Because they did say they loved each other.
They loved each other,
and that they used to meet in that locker room.
Right.
So I'm guessing it's probably at this point his wife.
It has. That's what I'm assuming that was his wife. That's what I'm assuming, but you know.
And you know, she's kind of talking to him. And she's like, "Hey,
don't be Captain America. Be who you want to be.
Yeah, be you.
Know, even though he's thinking like, I gotta be Cap. I gotta be Cap. I gotta be Cap. Cap. Like it's like going through his head right now.
And then she leaves.
Right.
And then as she's walking out, his best friend, which ends up being a goof of a character later.
We will talk about that later because I'm like,
we'll get into him a little bit later.
It's crazy.
But yeah, he's practicing when he walks in. John's practicing how he's going to speak to the people in the stadium.
Right.
He's doing the "Hello, Americans."
Right.
My name is John Captain. No, that's not going to work. And so his buddy comes in, kind of jokes around with him a little bit, and John starts to explain to him. He's like, up until this point, like it's been all handshakes and talks.
Right.
And honestly, he just wants to do the job. And his friend's like, well, this is the job.
Right.
Which it is. If you remember Captain America, even with Steve Rogers, a lot of it was
It was like the first
stuff.
Captain America for me. Like, literally, like, after he did it, it was like he had to do interviews and press conferences and all that and sing-alongs and crap, too. So it was like, oh, this reminded me of the first Captain America. So.
But then he also explains that the suit comes with expectations and that John just can't punch his way out of problems anymore.
Yeah.
Now, this little segment also kind of tells me John's eager to fight.
Yeah, he's ready to go. Yeah.
And I think that's that's first off starting the gap between old Cap and new Cap.
Yeah, because
Steve Rogers didn't want to fight.
He
didn't
fight if necessary,
want to kill people.
but he didn't want to do it
to hurt people.
Right, because he was right.
But he would fight to protect
people.
his country and his people.
Right.
And John's like,
I want to fight. I'm about to be a Terminator.
I want to go out there and start slinging this shield.
Slinging this thing in somebody's face, like right in the chest.
We will also be talking about more differences that are kind of pushing John into being almost a bad guy, which I don't think he is.
No good.
But I definitely think he's a dick. We'll get there.
We will get there. That's funny.
So then he gets to being in the football, in the football stadium.
Yeah, they had a whole.
He's walking around signing autographs.
They had a drum. They had the whole marching band. He over gives a high five. Boom! A high five to somebody.
Got the marching band.
Right.
Dude high fives him as he's walking up to the stage.
That was in the trailer, by the way. I said, okay, hello.
Right.
We're going right into it.
And then he gets up to the stage where he's actually being interviewed by Good Morning America, which is funny because that's an ABC program. ABC is Good Morning America.
ABC program.
Which is kind of a tie-in to ABC being the company that does most of their normal TV shows.
Yes, it does. Hey, bingo. That's good. Yeah, I'll take that. That's
good.
I like that little plug-in. I like that plug-in.
Nice little plug.
Yeah, you get that one.
Get your money, Good Morning.
You get that one.
During the interview, he says it's the greatest honor to become Cap.
Right.
And we find out that he was also the first person in American history to win 3 Medals of Honor. Yeah. Among other accolades. They listed a whole bunch that I didn't feel like typing out, guys. But there were a lot. But then he goes on to say, he's not Hulk, he's not Iron Man, he doesn't have the gadgets, he doesn't have the super strength, but what he has is guts. And then he tries to say that's, I felt that's what Steve Rogers had.
Right. Did they show clips of him throwing the shield? Yeah.
Which kind of made me mad. Okay, by the way, this episode completely blew almost
everything what we said last week.
I said last week, guys.
He's not a doofus. He's a doofus that knows how to throw a shield now.
This was the first time in my life so far in the MCU that I have been almost 90% wrong in all of my predictions.
He's a doofus with a shield now. What the hell, man? What?
But then he also says he follows Steve closely. And at this point, they start showing Bucky watching him on TV.
And I did say that. I said, well, what if Bucky is watching him? I did say it last week. I said, well, what if he is watching it? And I'm like, well, that's what's going to bring him, I guess, in doing something. Right. Yay, I was right.
And then John goes on to say he wanted to make people feel safe. Steve gave him hope, and that Steve Rogers felt like a brother. And I think that's the moment that pissed Bucky off.
Oh yeah, he said a
because
brother.
It's like, nah, dude, he was my best friend. I grew up with him.
Right.
I fought alongside
for so many years. Like, what do you mean? Like, what? A brother.
I fought against him and fought beside him.
Right, fought against him. Right, and beside him.
So he has the right to say that. Bucky does.
Right.
Sam has the right to say that.
Yeah, really, Sam has the right to say that too. Damn.
Not John. You cannot say somebody I watched feels like a brother. No.
John's like, yo, I feel it here in the heart. I feel it here.
You never fought beside this man.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here.
And John was, and I'm like, yo. And I like how Marvel, that's something Marvel makes you feel, because I'm like, bro, I'm about ready to punch him in the face. What the are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about?
I want to put the shield up to his neck and then hit the shield.
Yeah, the shield. Oh,
like on Bourne, I think it was the second.
Oh, that was John Wick where he hit with the book.
No, it was the second Bourne movie he hit him with the book. Remember?
Oh, yeah, it was the book, yeah.
He put the book up to his throat, punched the book, flipped it up, punched the book again.
Oh,
right
God, because I'm like, yo.
I need some of that in my life.
And he said that on camera, and then I'm like, y'all, come on, y'all. Y'all can't be serious. This doofus. Oh, my God. I'm not going to like this dude for the rest of the series. Oh, no.
I honestly think what Marvel's going to do is, second to last episode, they're going to do something with him that's going to make everybody go, he's such a good character.
They always do that.
And in the last episode, they're going to flip it, and you're like, oh.
Right. It's going to you want to fight him again, because it's like, yo, here we go. And it's like I said, 6 episodes, so damn, yeah, probably by that last two episodes, they're probably going to make him like, oh, we feel for him. Then it's like,
they didn't need that. That was last week's script. I was like, man, this feels like a long script. So fun fact, for those of you that are actually watching on YouTube, we've added a couple of things to our setup here. First off, I have the Captain America Beanie Baby now that was wonderfully purchased at a gas station.
Nice.
And then we added the Falcon and Winter Soldier cards. You can't actually see those in detail.
But it looks badass. It looks good.
Because they're tiny, but they're playing cards off of a board game that I play called Marvel Legendary.
Which that's a badass thing.
All right, scene 2. We go to the hangar. Sam and Torres are talking because they see the Captain America poster.
Yep, they see the poster. He
Cap is back.
Right, Cap is back. He just looks
John Walker,
and Sam just looks so. Either he's lost or it's like either he's upset. I'm like, where's your emotion, man? Winter Soldier has him, and that's why I'm so. There, right. I'm so retty, bro. That's why I'm really pissed, bro.
So they're going to Munich, which is where they've tracked down the Flag Smashers.
Right.
And Bucky shows up. And Bucky is pissed.
Right, that's what you're supposed
and
to
honestly,
be feeling.
I feel like Bucky has every right to be pissed at this moment.
He got in his face like, bro, what you doing? What you doing? Like, are you going to do something? He's like, we're going to go to the government. Yes! You go to the government!
He's like, he's mad. He even tells Sam, he's like, you should not have given up the shield. You had no right.
You had no right.
Or no, he said, did you know that they were going to do that? And Sam's like, nah. And again, I don't think Sam knew.
Okay.
For
he
get
that one. I don't
that was
going
to happen. I felt like he was doing the right thing in displaying it and being like, almost this was our legend, this was our hero.
Right. But he still should show some sort of emotion. He literally had no emotion. I'm like, oh, he's dead. He's dead serious.
Honestly, it was the government that was like, yoink, all right, cool.
All right. Since you don't want to be capped, I'm going to give it to some random Joe. Like, okay, freak me. All right, do it, man.
But yeah, Bucky says that this isn't what Steve wanted. And that's where Sam was like, what do you want me to do? Call up the government and be like, hey, can I have it back?
Yes! Yes! Yes, totally. Yeah, that actually would have been a better episode. He did that.
But that's when Bucky tells him he had no right, and this pisses Sam off. And this is where he says, you aren't about to tell me about my rights. Now, here's the thing. This whole series, specifically, is going to make Ralph uncomfortable, okay? Anytime you start talking about race, Ralph is like,
Yep. I'm like, what? What are you doing, Sam? You are a hero. I don't care, bro. Do your thing. What the hell is this?
So here's the thing.
This episode, though.
Here's the thing. I can definitely, at this point, though, also understand where Sam's coming from.
Right, okay.
Especially coming off of the first episode. You definitely got the feeling, and especially moving on into this episode, that they're bringing racism to the forefront of... It's almost an underlying plot of the whole thing.
Right.
And I feel like Sam kind of took that the wrong way. And you almost see this weird dichotomy that evolves throughout this episode as well, where it's like Sam's taking things the wrong way, but then tells Bucky to not take things the wrong way.
Right, you trying to control Bucky.
And Bucky's not taking things the wrong way.
Right. That's I don't mind if you have your opinion, but don't be like, yo, you got control. Like, wait,
but
what?
again, we don't know Sam's upbringing.
Right, and that's the thing. That's why. Yeah.
And I feel like we're eventually going to get.
Yeah, we're gonna get to dive into that a little bit. Which
but I definitely feel like there are definitely some very racist situations that happen, especially in this episode, which we will get to.
Yeah.
That are completely fucked up and unnecessary.
Yeah.
I mean, it's necessary for story progression.
Yeah.
But things that should not have happened.
Yeah, we get so much. Bro, I get ran some negative comments. You know what's going about that? What do you mean? I'm like, what? We're awful people, man.
So at this point, Sam starts to explain about the Flag Smashers.
Right.
And this is where they bring up and they get into this debate about the big three: androids, aliens, or wizards.
And wizards. And he said...
And I love this whole bickering.
Yeah,
okay, this is what the first episode missed for me. I had the first episode as a 7 out of 10 because they weren't together, and this is what I wanted from them was the bickering. And I finally got it. That's why this episode is rated so highly for me. Right. Because the chemistry between the two between the two is amazing.
Yeah, no, they get that. No.
And I love the fact where he's like, where Bucky's like, oh, so, we're hunting Gandalf now?
Right, he said Gandalf.
And he's like, you know about Gandalf?
You know about Gandalf?
And Bucky's like, yeah, I read The Hobbit when it first came out. I think Sam always forgets he's as old as he is.
Well, he said, 106. 106, man. He's old as heck, man. No. He said, Doc Strange, he said, that's a sorcerer without a hat. Like, don't do that. Don't do that, bro.
But yeah, that was I had a little note, which you get all my notes, my personal notes, and I know that.
I know you're making notes for like, yeah.
But yeah, I love the scene because we got to watch him bicker for the first time, and
as I said, I thought the chemistry is solid. I can't deny that. Like, that's cold.
Next thing up is they're on their way to Munich, and they're on the plane flying. They're starting off staring at each other.
Right. And he gets that mean stare. That's that look.
Bucky has a real mean stare.
Like a mean stare, because he's still pissed. In every right he should be. Right. And he's even asking him, you have a plan? He just ignores him. Like, why are you ignoring him, Sam? Answer. Talk to him.
So Sam gets up. Bucky asks him the plan. There is no plan.
There is no plan.
That's being spoken out loud anyways.
Literally.
Bucky gets mad. Well, then he calls him Buck. If you remember, Sam calls him.
He
calls him Buck. He's like, no, don't call me that.
Don't call me that. Right.
Only my friends call me that.
I'm sorry.
At which point he was like, so what's the plan? And Falcon's like, I got a plan. And then he just jumps off the airplane.
Right.
He doesn't say nothing.
Right.
So then Bucky walks up to the Torres, who's the guy in the plane with him.
He asked him for a parachute,
and he's like, where's the parachute? And the guy's like, we're 200 feet. It's not high enough for a parachute.
And he
he's
said,
like, I don't need one.
He
anyway.
said, he said, you gonna be all right? He said, yeah. And then he just
rips off his sleeve.
And he just jumps. He jumps, and then Sam's like, I got all that on you.
Crashes through the tree. He's crashing through the trees. He's using his arm.
Right, he uses his arm as he's doing it. Because I'm like, bro, you should have died, bro.
He hits the ground, and all of a sudden, you hear Sam go, I caught all that on tape.
All of that on tape. All of it, by Reverend call all of it on tape. Man.
Sam's like, fuck you, dude.
Right.
He didn't say that, but you know that.
It's really
not
like,
Sam. Bucky's like, fuck you, dude.
Right, fuck you, dude.
and you know damn well he's in a lot of pain.
Right. He said, he gave her the noise, like a thump noise.
And then he threatens to break Red Wing. He's like, get it out of my face.
I'm breaking it.
So they meet up in an abandoned warehouse. There's some more bickering back and forth about how many people are in the warehouse.
Right. Well, he said he saw 3. He said, "Oh no, let's see what Red Wing sees."
Well, Bucky wants to just rush in.
Yeah, he wants to just run in there. Yeah,
because he's like, I got a metal
arm. I can just boom.
I can take care of this.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, it goes from there might be 3 people to there's 6 people.
Right.
5 or 6 people.
5 or 6 people around there.
And one of them almost looks like a hostage. Which at this point too, if you remember, and I think this is also kind of a problem Sam's having with Bucky, is there's a point where Sam cracks a joke. And Bucky gets pissed and just walks into the warehouse. And he's like, dude, come on, I'm joking.
Right. He's like, I'm joking. And because he asked him, like, we didn't have a plan or something. He waved him off. He just went right in there. He said, hold on, bro. I was just playing. Like, bro, he's not. Bucky ain't having it today, bro.
No, Bucky's not in a good
thought this whole episode he wasn't having it. He's like, yo, I don't know what you doing, bro. Like, I gotta go, bro. I don't know what you're doing.
So they see that they have a hostage, what looks like a hostage, in the back of the truck.
Right. Well, like she was sitting down. Yep.
But in the process of seeing this, they knock something off a shelf.
Right, and they were on red alert.
All the flag smashers, you know,
they were like, "What happened?"
They look around, but then they turn around and
right,
get on the truck.
Forget it.
And it's time to go. But I think they knew.
Yeah, I think they knew something was around that corner because it seems like they always got to be watching their back anyway. So.
And at this point, Bucky and Falcon take off after him.
And let me tell you, so fun fact, Winter Soldier ran like a beast. That thing was going fast. He went. He ran past Falcon. I was
his
like,
new nickname.
Okay.
His new nickname's White Wolf.
Right, White Wolf. That's a little fun fact there too. Calling him White Wolf.
But yeah, so they get to the truck, and it turns out that the member or the person inside the truck was actually the leader.
The leader
of the flag smashers. She looks like an innocent little girl.
Right. He said, Sam, there's somebody in here. Da, 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 and then
she smiles.
Right.
And
smile.
Hits him. He flies out.
And I thought, well, he's about to die.
She puts the mask on, and then it's time. It's time for battle. And they get into this battle where honestly they get their ass beat.
Right.
So Bucky gets jumped and held down pretty early.
Yeah.
Falcon sends Red Wing in first. Red Wing gets destroyed.
He snaps.
The leader
right there.
Jumps, snatches it,
and boom, give it that Bane treatment. Oh my god.
Destroyed. So then Falcon lands on there, and he does decent for like 3 seconds.
And Bucky says, "It's so nice for you to join the battle, Sam," because he was getting his ass.
Like, thanks for joining, man.
He said, "Thanks for joining." He went, like, "Where are you?"
Falcon gets onto the truck, and then at this point, they're starting to get handed to him, and all of a sudden, you see the shield in one of the enemy's faces. Cap's jumped in.
Oh god!
And at this point, I'm like, really?
John Doofus came to the party. Hello, motherfreakers! I'm here.
Now, what's funny is John actually does pretty well against him.
John actually and his whatever the hell person,
his best friend,
whatever,
also known as Battlestar.
I didn't know that was a person. I remember asking. He said he's in the Marvel movie. He is. That's like a gamer tag. I swear to God,
right.
That's like something that's not real. That's something I would make up.
I'm sorry, guys. Honestly, he's a good character. My problem with him is his name.
Battlestar.
He
looks like he's a good character. I'm just like, what the hell is that? Like, that's what you want to go with? Really? Okay. I mean, sure. More power to you, I guess. But John, he just came in. He handled his own. I'm sorry. Damn. Freak, man.
Which his partner's name is Lamar.
Lamar
Hoskins.
Lamar Hoskins, yeah.
Cool. But yeah, I mean, Cap is chucking the shield.
Yeah, he's hitting people. Yeah, he's doing.
My favorite moment though in that fight was Cap throws his shield. Winter Soldier, it bounces off the Winter
he
Soldier
catches
reaches
it
out and catches
and then he gives it
and then lets it go as
he was like,
Cap is coming through almost out of habit.
Out of habit.
And I also think there was just that small moment where he wanted to take the shield.
Yeah, he wanted to just take it.
But he was like, "No, this ain't."
And that camera angle was cool. He went, "Thank you." I'm like, "What?" This makes him probably more pissed off. This is like a Bucky pissed off episode.
So then eventually Bucky gets thrown off the top of the truck.
Yep.
He's sliding down.
He's literally sliding down.
Hangs off the bottom. Falcon gets thrown off, but he's got wings, so he spreads them. He starts flying.
Right.
And like he's dodging cars, trying to get
really
inside
bobbing,
the truck.
weaving. Yep.
And then again another fun bickering moment. Sam flies head level.
And he's literally hanging on for dear life.
That girl whooped your ass.
That little girl
man.
kicked your ass. And that was in the trailer too. He's like, that little girl kicked your ass. So and you hear you just hear a noise. You just hear
he screams at him.
Because I'm like, bro, he's about to die.
But then he flies under the truck, catches him.
Yep.
They roll, end up on top of each other, almost in a sexual pose.
Oh God!
Staring at each other,
staring to each other's eyes and shit. And then meanwhile, they're still fighting on the.
Yeah. So Cap and Lamar are fighting. Lamar gets thrown. Well, Cap gets thrown off, but he catches the side.
Right, he catches the side. Yeah, he catches it. Yep.
And he's getting ready to climb up to the truck, but then he sees Lamar get thrown off.
And it's like
over him.
It's like simultaneously. It's very weird how that happened.
He takes the shield, throws it, it catches.
Because that's
Lamar.
something Cap would do. Unfortunately, that is something Cap. He is doofus, but Cap would save his own teammate. He would. He
saves his teammate. Jumps on top. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna pay for that," and then he gets blasted.
Yeah, and then I was like, "Okay, fight's over."
Fight's over.
Somebody put the XYB button in on Xbox and said, "Okay, hit the cheat code. Fight's over." And they just stared. They just stared menacingly at each other, like, "Yep, that's it."
So after this is done, we see Falcon and Winter Soldier walking down the street together.
Right.
kind of bickering some more. Sam's making fun of him being part mechanical.
Right, he said you're malfunctioning. You're having a brain. You're having a buffering moment here.
And they realize though that they just fought 6 super soldiers.
Yeah, that's the realization. 6 super soldiers. Yeah.
So it's got to be coming from something.
Right.
But then we see Cap and Lamar
They
pull up
come
the
out
side.
of nowhere. It's like, and they just kept walking.
And they open their like, get in.
And they're like,
nah.
nope. And it's like, it's just 20 miles. They don't give a shit, bro.
And this is kind of one of those moments where you almost feel for John.
Yeah, because John
As
is
Cap,
trying. He's trying. He's trying. I gotta get. He's trying his hardest, man.
He even says, he's like, look.
I know you don't like me.
Or no, he's like, we would do a lot better if we all worked together.
We all work together. So like I said,
and Bucky's like, just because you have the shield doesn't make you Captain America.
Yeah, he's
which he's right.
Right, Bucky was already done.
He asked John if he's ever jumped on a grenade, and John says at least 4 times.
Yeah, he jumped on a grenade. Yeah.
He says, but it's a thing I do with my helmet. It's got some protective thing, and I think that's kind of the problem.
Right, because Steve jumped on his body.
When Steve did it, he thought it was a live grenade. He jumped on it to protect his whole crew.
Whole crew, right. Whereas he said, well, I'm just
and he's like, no, I'm using my helmet.
I mean, yeah. And I can see why Bucky would kind of like look at him kind of cockeyed like
you
that.
can have guts and not have heart.
Right.
Which I think is the thing John's kind of lacking is he doesn't have the same patriotic... He doesn't have that Boy Scout mentality.
No, he's like...
Which you would think me not liking Boy Scout heroes...
No, I would thought maybe you would have liked this type of character, like, to be honest.
If he develops into a villain, I will. Because it will make an excellent villain mentality.
Right.
But as of right now...
Yeah, he's still
trying to be that hero.
He's
and it's
trying to
kind
be
of
the hero.
like, you're kind of a cunt, dude.
Right.
You're kind of a cunt.
Oh, man.
So then, oh, see, I didn't even write that. Oh, okay, so Sam and Bucky get in because he's finally like, just get in.
Yeah, and then they finally
so they get in,
and then Winter Soldier is looking menacingly.
Yeah, he's staring, and he's like, does he stare like that all the time?
You get used to it.
Like,
and I like how they're separate too. Like they're not sitting on one side. They're literally like cut in half. Like divided. Like they're like, I'm on one side, you're on your side. That's it.
And what's funny is you've got Captain America sitting across from Falcon, and you've got Lamar sitting across from Winter Soldier. And it almost has that setup of like Captain America being the leader.
Yeah.
Lamar being his partner or sidekick,
whatever, and then
you have Falcon, who's supposed to be Captain America, and Winter Soldier, who's supposed to be his sidekick or his partner, right. And just the dichotomy. And there's a lot of people. I read a bunch of articles online where people are trying to turn this specific thing into a race issue.
With that Cap, they were? Wow,
dude, they're saying with Battlestar or Lamar being Cap's sidekick, it's another black man being a sidekick to a white guy. And I'm like, guys, okay, now you're going too far. Okay?
Now you're stretching it. Oh God,
you're trying really hard to find something.
That's that wokeness.
And it's all white people writing these articles, and I'm like, you don't even know what black people go through. Right. Just fucking quit.
Just stop. You sound so stupid. That's so stupid.
So they reveal that they tracked.
Yeah, through Red
Wing, and this pisses Sam off.
And that's what pissed him off. Yep. And so I was
Sam's
like, here we go.
What? And he's like, well, technically, he's like, so you're spying on me.
And
he's like, no, we're not. No, he said you hacked me.
And this is one of the moments that got serious, serious right now.
And he's like, no, we didn't hack you. It's government property.
And everybody got real quiet.
We are the government.
And I was like, that still gives me goosebumps. I was like, okay. He's like, yo, this is government tech, right?
And at this point is when they ask about Lamar, and he says he's Battlestar.
And he says, stop the truck!
He goes, stop the truck!
Oh my God, Battlestar. What the freak?
Bucky jumps off, and I find that funny because at this point, Bucky's like, dude, you got a horrible name. I'm out of here.
Right! That's up there with New Master 69. What the freak, man? Like, what is this?
And at this point, John looks over at Falcon. And John's like, look, I'm not here to replace Steve.
And
I'm not trying to be Steve. I want to be the best Cap I can be, and that's it. and it would be a whole lot easier if he had Cap's wingman at his side. And
that was
the snapping point for Sam. And Sam was
he said it was that last line.
It's always that last line.
Last line. He got up real quick, and he jumped. He would have probably stayed in the car. I was like, oh, he was feeling good. So I said, oh, wingman. It wasn't even like that Captain America Winter Soldier. He was not no wingman. What?
Well, here's what's funny. I don't. This is where I feel like Sam thinks everyone's out to get him because he is a black man. Right. And I think this is in Sam's head because I don't think Cap meant wingman as in partner or sidekick.
Right.
Falcon flies. He's got wings. He's the wingman. And I think that's how he intended it, and Sam took it the wrong way, which Sam takes a lot the wrong way in this series.
In this series. He took since episode 1, he took stuff the wrong way. Oh, Jesus.
But again, we don't know Sam's history.
No.
And Sam is justified in feeling the way he feels.
Right.
So I'm not mad at him for that.
Nope.
And to be fair, at this point, I start to feel like John's kind of a dick.
That's when you started saying, yeah, he's now becoming that douchebag.
But yeah. Alright, so scene 4. We're kind of in this random building out in the middle of nowhere. And there's this lady who's with the it's the lady with the flag smashers. Mm-hmm. And they end up at this home, and she knocks on the door and she whistles. She's like,
right. Yep.
And the guy opens the door, lets him in, and he almost seems to be praising them.
Like
he's like,
gods.
I'm so happy you're here.
Right.
He's like, we've been following your movement for so long. We stand behind you. We believe in what you're doing. If there's anything you want, feel free, have it. If we can get it,
food and
we'll
everything.
Get it for you. Here's a room for you guys to sleep in. We've been prepping this place ever since we heard you guys were coming through. And he even goes on to say, a lot of people are considering you like Robin Hood.
Right.
Or calling you Robin Hood.
That's what makes you think like, dang, so they might not be too evil then.
And here's the thing. I do think the Flag Smashers are considered the villain group in this series, but at the same time, I don't really consider them villains.
Right.
I just consider them on a separate heroic path that they feel is right. Because they got to experience what life was like before people were
gone. Right.
When everyone was gone after Thanos' snap, the borders opened up. And everyone was working together. All the countries were working together to try and rebuild just humanity. And then all of a sudden, everyone comes back.
Right. Everybody came back. Just like in WandaVision, everybody came back. Yep.
Everyone wants to try and,
stay away from me.
Go back to where things were.
And can I say, though, too, for a fun fact, the Thanos impact is cold. Like, how we are still really running off that theme that snap is literally... I mean, that's cold. I mean, that's like a little minor plot there, but that's something that we keep bringing up, through WandaVision, through even Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's pretty nifty how they do that, man.
Right. And I mean, one of the things that we also don't take into account, you gotta remember, people were gone for, what was it, 5 years?
3 to 5? 3 to 5? Yeah, 3 to 5 years.
I don't remember how long exactly. 7 years, 5, 7.
Right, but it was a long time, bro. That was oh my God.
They were gone for years, so how many people grieved?
Right. Grieved and moved, really,
moved on.
Moved on. Yep.
You gotta sit back and wonder how many times something like, a lady's husband disappears.
Right.
She grieves for several months. Then goes back out into the dating scene. Finds somebody else. Maybe even gets married in that time span.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, her husband's back. And it's whoa, what do we do?
Right.
Because now she's in love with this new person.
Even maybe got children by this new person. It's like, you're supposed to be dating me. And it's like...
And the people that come back don't know what happened. They come back and think everything is just...
Well, remember, even in Endgame, they had the whole Memorial Rock thing, and when Paul Rudd, Ant-Man's character, he was like, I'm dead? He was looking at all these people who disappeared, from New York. Just this in New York alone. So, that was that impact that we are at with both of these shows, even Falcon and Winter Soldier specifically.
So then, the lead chick gets a text from an unknown number that says, you took what was mine, I'm going to find you and kill you. I'm just going to kill you. And she got nervous as sin. And then at the same time, you got the guy on his computer that was there, and he found out that the government's looking for him. They know him by name.
Yeah, they know him by name. Yeah, they're looking for him.
So he's trying to scrub their systems of their existence so that, they get off
because they were on their trail like crazy. They were on trail since episode 1, actually. So they just been trying to find him.
Right.
And now you got him by name. That's when you need to run faster.
And then the lead chick, says the GIC cares more, which the GIC is the Global something correction or something
Correction,
like that. It was
International correction.
something like that. Yeah. And it's the people that are trying to get everything back to normal.
Right.
Now that everyone's come back. But she says the GIC cares more about the people that came back than the ones that were here to begin
with. And who knows, like, probably losing life even in those 5 years. Like, people actually were still probably dying. Like I said, life still moved on,
well,
so...
Monica's
mom
died.
Right. Forgot, yeah. And then, like, cancer. Then he came back. I'm like, okay, well, life still kept going, so...
And she went, and she's making sure everyone's committed to the cause.
Right.
And,
everybody.
Dude stands up and starts the chant, "One war, one people. One war, one
That's
people."
Some Hydra stuff.
One
I'm sorry.
War, one people.
That's like, you cut a man, a million will follow. Like, oh, okay.
So then they transition to being on a plane, and it's Bucky and Sam. Mm-hmm. And then Bucky's like, we should take the shield.
Yes.
And then Sam,
yes.
And then Sam's like, well, to be honest, I understand what Sam's saying. Yeah. He's like, we can't just run up on the dude, beat him up, and take it.
Sure we can. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's like, hey, Buck was ready. Hey,
well, there's a reason, though, because the last time, he pointed out, he says the last time we took the shield, me and Sam ended up on the run for 2 years.
On the run for 2 years? Oh, shit. And I was like, yeah, we can. We can just pop out.
I mean, after everything that happened, these two guys are considered technically free Americans.
Technically, yeah.
Like, there's no repercussions.
There's no Soviet Accords for them.
There's no jail time for them anymore. They're out there. You can't just take all that away because you're like, oh, we can take the shield back. That's stupid. That is stupid.
But that is funny, though. That's funny. It is stupid, but it's kind of funny, though.
So I understand where Sam's coming from.
Because we're so like, oh, God. Because he was ready to do it. It's like he was ready to go. He was ready to go find him, and I'm like, please don't beat this dude up, man. Don't do it.
And then Sam was like, and to be honest, we have nothing. And Bucky's like, not entirely sure.
Here we go.
He's like, I kind of have somebody I think you should know.
Oh, God.
All right, so then it cuts to them being off of the plane. They're walking through a neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And as they're walking up, this kid looks at him, and he's like, "You're Black Falcon." And he's like, "It's just Falcon, kid." And he's like, "What, do you guys call me Black Falcon just because I'm black?" And the kid even looks at him and is like, "Well, my dad told me that's why your name's that way." And he's like, "Well, is your name Black Kid?" And the kid's like, and the kid just kind of looks at him.
He's like, "What?"
Knowing he lost that argument.
Yeah, it was a loss. It was a lost cause. He's like, and then even his friend said, "Good job, bro." Like, oh,
right. So then they walk up to this house, and Bucky bangs on the door. Kid answers the door, which I don't know what the kid's name is.
Oh, Elijah.
Is it Elijah?
Yeah, and fun fact of that, I looked him up too in the comics. Or looked him up. He is also a young Avenger to be. I'm like, so. Right. Now, what they do with it, I don't know. I'm just saying that's what I found in the comics. Take it as you will on that one. So.
And the kid keeps telling him, Isaiah's not here.
Right. Isaiah's not
here.
And
then finally Bucky's like, tell him it's the guy from the bar in Guyang. Right. And he's like, he's really going to want to talk to me. And the kid's like, hold on. Walks in. And he's like, hey. They start to have a conversation while the kid's inside talking to whoever he's talking to. Right. And Bucky and Sam's like, who are we here to talk to anyways? And Bucky's like, it's a guy I ran into in a bar. Right. And I had a skirmish with in the Korean War.
Skirmish. Yep. Something like that.
Something like that.
Something like that. Jesus
so then the kid comes back, lets him in.
Lets him in.
And then Bucky introduces the two. And he's like, yo, Isaiah, this is Sam.
And Isaiah is a Marvel character too, apparently. Goddamn. So everybody's Marvel characters in here.
So Bucky, after introducing the two, tells Sam that he's a hero, a guy Hydra feared the most, kind of like Steve. Or a lot like Steve. Right. At which point, Isaiah then tells the story of how everyone was being sent in to get Bucky.
Right. He said he's the guys that will go get him.
No one ever came back. Because Bucky's a badass.
Right. Bucky can kick it on any given day. Yeah.
So then he got dropped behind enemy lines.
Unfortunately. Beat
the hell out of Winter Soldier. Ripped off like a portion of his arm.
Yeah, he ripped off his arm. Well, I thought he ripped off his whole arm, but then he said, "Oh, I see you got it back." Because I thought he like a token, like he thought he ripped that arm off.
And then he was like, and I'm just kind of wondering how you grew your arm back, or if you're here to kill me.
Yeah, I was like, well, here we go.
And Bucky was even like, I'm not a killer anymore, man.
Right. Yeah, he said he was not killing
and
no more.
almost when he said it, he almost had a sense of sadness in his voice. Like, he's trying to get away from that stigma.
Right. That's gonna always probably be his shadow, like for a minute here, because
he wants to be a good person, but he has this long history of being a brainwashed assassin. You killed
Tony Stark's parents. Jesus Christ.
Right.
I mean, I know you were brainwashed, but still, you did that. So.
And then Isaiah, this is where he kind of gets mad.
Oh yeah.
Because he's like, do you really think you can wake up one day and decide who you want to be? Because it don't work like that. He says, but then again, maybe it does for folks like you. Which almost has a double meaning. Yeah,
because that can mean anything.
I think a lot of people watching are going to see it as a race thing.
Like white person.
Yeah, maybe a white person can wake up.
Right.
But then at the same time, what he means, which it's even clarified later, is somebody that's been with Hydra.
Man with Hydra. It's all.
And then Bucky even says the reason they're there is that there are more people. He says, "quote There are more people like you and me."
Right.
And that's when Isaiah gets pissed.
And
and he launches just this small box.
Oh, it's like a metal box, but he launches so hard
it gets stuck into the wall almost.
Because he still has his serum. Even though he's old as hell, like he still has the super soldier serum. It made like a hole in it. I'm like, oh my god! And then that's when Isaiah said, gotta go. Yo, he got mad as freak, bro.
So then he says, for being a hero, he got put in jail for 30 years.
Yeah.
Where all they did was take tests, run blood tests.
Right.
And then Sam even tries to speak up. He's like, Isaiah, calm down. And the dude's like, get out of my house.
Get out. And that's when Liza said, come on. Because that means to go. Because it was bad. That whole thing was bad.
And it gets worse.
It does. God, Lord, it gets worse. Lord, it does.
So then... Mm-hmm. They get out. They leave the house, and as they're walking out, Falcon is like, "Why didn't you tell me about him?" And he's like, "Steve didn't even know about him.
Steve didn't even know about him, right?"
And they're kind of getting in this argument, and all of a sudden, cops pull up.
And I saw the cop appear literally in the scene, like glimmerous scene. I said, "Oh, we're about to do this, aren't we?" Okay, that's fine, sure.
Because during the argument, Sam's mad that there was a black super soldier decades ago, and they're just now finding out about it. Well, you got to remember, especially back then.
Yeah, okay, back then I get it. Yeah, back then it was a little bad.
I mean, things are still bad, but back then there weren't black heroes, at least not ones that made news. Like everybody was all about Captain America, but there was an opportunity for somebody. A black man to have that same
because he was just a soldier,
imagery.
And then they tested him into a super soldier. Because really, he was like a soldier to go out there and take out Bucky, and then they turn him into a super soldier. Okay.
But yeah, so the cops come up. I think we're on the last page, actually. We are. The cops come up and are trying to calm Sam down.
Right.
But also kind of being judgy about it.
Yeah,
it's like, this black dude's yelling at this white guy. He's got to be in the wrong kind of mentality.
Right. It's just...
And he even looks at Bucky like, is this man bothering you? And Bucky's like, no. Do you know who this is?
Do you know who he is? And they're like, oh my god, I am so sorry. Right. Oh my god, they went to bitch real quickly. We're sorry, Mr. Wilson. We're sorry. We didn't notice you. Oh shit! And it just gets cringier and cringier.
And I mean, they were being blatantly racist.
Oh shit! We can see it. What the hell, man?
And then as the cops walk away, because they're like, hold on a second, and they walk away. That's when Bucky leans in. He's like, honestly, I didn't ever say anything because I felt like Isaiah had been through enough.
Right. At the end of the day, he been through hell and back, man. Like, it's just...
and let's face it, he tells somebody, that person might tell someone else. All of a sudden, there's going to be news out there. There's going to be cameras everywhere. Right. And at this point, Isaiah just wants to be left the fuck alone.
He kept everything kept on a down low on all of it. So I see where Sam comes, but I really do. I see more towards Bucky, where he's come from. Like, bro, like that's why I've been left alone. And then it gets real worse. It gets worse after this too.
Right. And at that point, the cop comes up And he's like, we're sorry to have to do this to you, Bucky.
I would have punched him in the face.
He's like,
with my metal arm.
But you're under arrest.
And I was like, what?
And at this point, Sam's trying to back him up. And
right.
He's like, yo, he's been pardoned. And he's like, yeah, but he missed his court-mandated...
Court mandate for therapy
session.
God damn it.
And Buck's just even kind of like...
Right, the look Buck gave was priceless. Like, oh my God, what is happening? What is this?
Which was almost role reversal of what was going to happen.
Right. Well, reverse.
Because originally the cops were there harassing
for Winter Soldier, but then they said, "Oh, we're coming for actually." And they said we're coming for Bucky. I'm like, "Oh God."
Well, no, they weren't there for Bucky.
Yeah, for Bucky.
They were there for Sam.
For Sam.
But then all of a sudden, Bucky's the one that gets arrested.
Right. And Bucky is just like, okay, fuck it, because he knows he can beat him up, but that won't look good. So he decided to accept it.
So then the next thing we see Bucky being walked out of his holding cell.
Right.
Down a hallway.
Right.
And then it pans out to the therapist walking in to the police station.
Right. He said, did somebody pay my bail, or because
Sam was like, thank you so much for bailing him out, and she's like, it wasn't me.
I was like, oh God.
And all of a sudden they look over.
It's Doofus. Doofus and Battlestar.
It's Doofus America.
And Battlestar, his wingman. It's this, I think. It's Robin.
So they come through. And they're all waving at people, signing autographs.
Oh yeah. They still doing hi, hello.
Cap walks up, and this is one of the things I did think Cap was cool for doing.
Right.
Was he looks at her and he says, "All right, after this, there's gonna be no more, like you're done. No more therapy sessions.
Right, we're done with this.
I need them.
Yeah, really, because he
and
does.
I
At
can't
the end of the day,
I can't have you tying them up.
Right, he needs them, man.
And he's like, after you guys are done in here, I want to see you. Or he's like, let Winter Soldier know I need to see him. Oh, and you too, Sam. And he walks out.
Right.
And him and Battlestar walk out.
Battlestar.
So then Bucky walks up after having the cuffs taken off, walks up to him, and the therapist lady is like, all right, Bucky, we're going to have your exit therapy session. And then she's like, come on. And then Sam's like, all right, I'll be here waiting. She's
right,
like, no.
She's
like, no, you too.
But it's so weird though, because why would you? I mean, I get it, but I'm like, I wouldn't bring him in. Like, I just wouldn't see no point to it.
So there's actually a legit reason.
Okay.
So if you remember back to the first episode,
right?
Winter Soldier was avoiding texts and calls from
the phone. Yeah.
Falcon.
Okay. So that's why I would bring that. Okay.
So she knows Falcon's the only person he really knows at this point.
That's pretty much
and he's
it.
He needs somebody to vent to. He needs somebody. And she knows that there's a rift here, and she needs to try and fix it.
Right.
So they get into the room.
Right.
And they're sitting at the table.
This is also true, too. The therapy session.
And,
oh, man.
At first, she tries to make him do this couple exercises, like the miracle thing, where they ask a question that's like, if while you're asleep there's a miracle that happens, what's the one miracle that would make everything better for the both of you? And both of them agree it would be for the other one to talk less. And I think Winter Soldier doesn't even talk that much. That's what's so stupid. He stares way more.
He stares. Maniacally stares at your ass. Like, what?
So then, she's like, all right, so we're going to try something different. She's like, I want you to, we're going to do the soul gazing.
And he said, soul gazing. All right. He said, let's go. Let's go. We're going soul gazing.
So they turn and they face each other. And then she's like, no, you
gotta come in closer. He said, all right, we're going to come in close. All right, you're trying to go out here real close? Like, oh, man, this is...
So they get almost face to face.
Face to face.
And then they have this staring contest. And she's even like, are you having a staring contest?
You're right. They were literally just like...
And they're not saying nothing. They're just staring. And you see... At this moment, though, Bucky is having absolutely no issues, and Sam's trying to do everything to keep his eyes open.
He's like looking like...
And then all of a sudden, she reaches in and snaps. And both of them blink, and she's like, all right, chill.
What's wrong with y'all? And they just like have a staring contest.
So then she asks them to say what's bothering them. Right. And then she's like, Bucky, would you like to go first? And he's like, yeah. Right. And he says that he's mad that Sam gave up the shield.
Right, so he's still going back to the shield part. Yeah.
Because Steve believed and entrusted in Sam, and Sam gave it up so easily. And then he went on to say that it means Steve was wrong about Sam, and if Steve was wrong about Sam, then Steve was wrong about him.
Right.
Because I think there's a part of Bucky that kind of wanted to be the Captain America figure.
Right, because
but understood Steve's decision.
Right.
That Sam be it. Because let's face it, Bucky did have a very not so good history.
Right.
With everything happening with Hydra.
Right.
So he understood why Sam got the shield.
Right.
But then Sam gave it up, and it's kind of proof that maybe Steve was wrong about both of them.
Right.
Because maybe Bucky would have been the right character to be the next Captain America.
Which I wouldn't mind have seen that. I mean, I understand, but I wouldn't mind have seen that part too. Like if he was Captain America.
Either one would have been cool.
Yeah, they would have been cool. Yeah. But I mean, I guess you could like it to where they're both going through this turmoil. It's like, why? And they're like, but why back at you? But I'm going to ask a why question though too. Like, why did you do this? Like, what are you doing? So.
And then at that point, he leans back and Sam says, like, is there any way that maybe you or Steve would never be able to understand why I did what I did? And just understand that I felt I did what was right. And so here's the thing, and we kind of touched on it, I think, a little bit on our last podcast episode, right. And I'm going to touch on it again. I do feel like that Sam didn't feel that as a black man would be accepted as Captain America. I think that was a big part of what weighed him down.
And as I said, that's so crazy.
You feel that way, but in our world today, that's how it would really go.
Right. Because I'm like, dude, and that's why I said, I'm telling that too. That's why Falcon Winter Soldier said, it doesn't matter about the race, it's a matter about you. He chose you. You are the chosen to this thing, man. Like,
but at the same time, that's something that, like, you got to be able to see it from both sides and really understand. Right. Because I agree with you. I want to see Falcon as Captain America.
Right.
But I also understand. Again, we still don't know Falcon's past. We don't know his history. We don't know why his mind is the way that it is.
Right.
And I'm sure they'll eventually do somewhat of a flashback episode to show us that.
Yeah, well, we got
kind of like what they did with Wanda.
Like, what's making you tick right now? Like, why you don't want to do this? Because that's crazy, man.
But again, I really do see it as he just feels like he wouldn't be accepted because of his skin color.
Right. And Bucky's like, what?
and that's something Bucky's not gonna understand.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's not. He's not gonna understand it. He's just trying to figure out why are you doing this, like.
Right.
Because you just gave me the shield then.
So at that point, Sam agrees he'll squash the beef. He'll squash it. He'll get rid of all the between the two.
Yeah.
He says, we're going to do this mission. We're going to complete what we need to. And then after we're
done, he said
we'll take a long vacation away from each other and never see each other again.
He said, thank you, therapist, for making this extremely awkward. I'm like, okay.
And then Bucky's like, I agree.
Oh, God.
So there's still some headbutting there. And here's the thing. You definitely seen moments in this episode where they're sticking up for each other. You definitely said they care about each other.
That's what I said. No, moments they stick up for each other.
In moments of anger, I do feel like people jump to resolute conclusions.
That's why all these articles out here
they're just like, we're done. It's never going to happen. It's like, oh, chill. Like, you're mad at each other.
Right.
Honestly, this is where I'm kind of mad at Sam. I wish Sam would just explain it to him.
Right. Just explain. I think he'll understand if you explain it.
Anybody that will understand
what you're going through,
it will be Bucky.
Bucky, because he was going through it, actually. Like, dude, what? That's being brainwashed, man. Like, that's...
Right.
He probably be the only one that would understand it, actually.
So then, as they walk out of the police station... Well, actually, before... As Bucky's leaving, he turns around at the therapist. He says, "What's number 2
What's
again?"
Number 2? Because I'm about to say, yeah.
And then she's like, "Not hurting anybody."
Oh dear.
And he looks at her. and He's like,
have a good.
Thanks for everything.
Have a good day. Because because we about to, you know what's about to happen. That's all good. We're gonna fuck some shit up. What was number 2? Don't hurt anybody. Have a good day. Like, okay, that's it. That's it.
So they walk out of the police station. Cap hits the the police siren lights, gets their attention. They walk over.
Oh, doofus, here we go.
And again, Cap is trying to convince them to work with him.
And this is like a final moment too, really.
And again, I agree. I feel like they should work with him to get whatever needs to be accomplished.
Right.
But I can also understand. So Bucky and Cap end up arguing about it, and then Sam even looks over at him and is like, "Look, we're free agents. We're not bound by government."
So I guess that could work that way too.
He's like, "It's better off if we work alone, separate from you."
And that's when Cap said,
and then Cap looks at me and is like, "All right, well, then stay the hell out of my way.
Right. He said, and I felt that was probably when Doofus said Doofus grew a ball sack. I said, okay. He said, hey, well then you just stay out of my way, because at the beginning of this episode, John ready to go. He ain't about that Star-Spangled Banner. He ready to start fighting. Like, he don't give a damn. He does not care. He'll lose his life and still fight. As long as I kill you, I don't care.
Right.
So I felt that from him. Like, yo, okay.
So then we get a scene where a guy gets a text saying the power broker's been found. And this is the first time in the series the power broker has been mentioned.
Right.
We've seen him in the credits, so that's why we talked about him last week.
Right. This time it's first scenes, yeah.
But this time it's the first time he's been mentioned.
He's been mentioned.
So then the guy offers to hold off the people that are coming so that they can get away.
And that was the guy I think they shot at the beginning of or midway through the episode, I think. That was the guy that they shot in the leg. He said, I'm fine, because I thought they shot him.
I don't remember.
I don't remember, but okay.
Because he didn't look like he had any...
Oh, okay. I thought that was the guy that they injured, because I was like, well, I guess he was already hurt, so I was like, well, he was going to give his life up anyway. That's why I got from that, because I was like that, but... Yeah.
So they're trying to load
but
up
they're
the
trying
truck.
To go. Right.
So or the plane, not the
truck.
Right. They're trying to load up the plane. He puts on the mask.
And she said, like, she knew she got that one last hug, because, this is going...
He knew he was going to die.
Last time you're going to see him. And dang, you just see it.
And
you see it, though. Oh,
and this is kind of that proof that these people are willing to stand for this cause.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I said. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So then So as they're loading up the plane, he walks out with the mask on, and it's kind of like the slow motion moment.
Yeah.
He walks out. He pushes the telephone pole.
The light pole. It just right on the ground.
Stops the car.
It stops the car because they were trying to get real close to that plane. Because all you do is shoot the plane, bang, bang, and then that plane would not be moved. Shoot like near the gas thing area, and there you go.
Right.
So.
So then he's just standing there, and while he's standing there, they don't off screen. You can hear it, but they don't show it. Everyone's getting out of their vehicles. Right.
Guns drawn, everything.
And then all of a sudden...
He's like a run. Just a run.
Towards him.
And I'm like, yo, he's super social. I would take the shot, too. I'm not risking anybody taking out a light bulb. I'm not risking that.
What cracks me up is, like, stand down, you're under arrest. But I'm like, but the power broker's men, are they actually military?
Shit.
So that's why I'm confused about it.
Because it makes you wonder who the hell was he talking to on that phone. Like, they got away. I'm like, oh, okay. So who was he talking?
I think it would be cool if the power broker ends up being the general dude that introduced Captain America. That would be interesting.
Oh, man, that would be interesting. That would be an interesting little theory there to keep. Hey, how about that for a theory, y'all? He said...
That just popped in my head.
I know, that's a good little theory, though. I like that.
So he charges them.
Right, and they
light him up.
Oh, yeah, light him up like Christmas tree. Hell yeah. No, You take down a light pole, bro. Like, you can move a house.
After he goes down, his mask even pops off as he's going down.
Right.
They pan over to the airplane as it's
and
taking
she's like
off.
seeing this. The leader is seeing all this. What is this happening? And she just say, "Keep going, just freak it, man."
And then I guess the commander of this little paramilitary group or whoever it is.
Right, could be anybody. This
could even be actual military. Like I said,
could be Hydra. Could be anybody.
They could legit be just SWAT agents.
AFF or what they say, AFI, like from the beginning of
FAL.
It could be them.
It even could be them.
It could be them.
And you see him get on his phone. He's like, "Yeah, they got away."
And I'm like, "Who the hell is that?" Right. I'm like, "Wait a minute, bro." Not general. Hey, general, we missed. No, it's like they got away, and that's it. Panic. See, like, oh, okay.
So then the episode ends with we see Bucky and Sam walking down the street together again, and Bucky says, "When Isaiah said my people." Well, he says, "Well, Isaiah said my people," and Bucky said that.
Sam kind of.
And then Sam was like, "He didn't mean that," and Bucky's like, "I know what he meant. Was Hydra." So right now, the only thing Sam seems to have on his mind is race.
And why? We
don't know his history.
We got to get to that history, man. Because Jesus, bro. Jesus, man. Right, he's talking about Hydra. What the hell?
And Bucky even says he knows they're talking about Hydra.
Right, he even said it like in the house about Hydra. What? Did you forget?
And Bucky said it's time to go meet up with the guy that knew everything. And Sam's like, no, Doug.
Yeah.
That's because I think Sam even has his doubts that Bucky can't be recontrolled.
Right. So they gonna do that little mind trick.
That's kind of their announcement that Zemo's about to come into the equation. And then it transitions to Zemo
behold,
being in a cell.
Just sitting there playing chess.
He's got his chessboard. He's
just
looking
sitting
down,
there.
and at the end of the episode, he looks up.
Right.
Now, the look up, I feel, is probably going to be how the next episode starts, which is going to be Sam and Bucky coming in.
Right.
Or at least Bucky.
Right. Or no, it could just be Sam. Bucky could really be outside. Bucky could be just not even...
I don't think he is.
Oh, you think he gonna... Okay, you think it could be Bucky talking to him?
Because I feel like it's going to be Bucky that talks to Zemo.
Okay.
And I still think one of the few things that I predicted that is
that he's gonna do I
think he's going to try to control Bucky, and I think Bucky's going to play along with it. And I don't think it's going to be very long. I think it's going to be like 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
And he's like, "Dude, that doesn't work on me anymore."
Right. He might just get up and just be like, "Dun, we're homecoming," and he's like, "Bro, that doesn't work on me, bro. But thank you for trying." My thing, I feel like. With the episode, I feel like, and this could be far-fetched, my theory is they could be setting up for a minor civil war. Like Civil War 2 in a way.
Yeah, I know. You read that somewhere.
Yeah, right, I did, I read this somewhere. It seems like they're, like, because you got Sam and his little posse, then you may have Winter Soldier, and he might have a group of his own, then turn around, you still have John and his group. So it's kind of like, you got 3 people butting heads right now with each other. And
I think they could be setting up for Civil War, but I don't think John is going to be capped by the end of this series.
Okay, so you think John's just going to be
because he didn't have a long run in the comics. It'd be kind of silly to give him a series and then a movie and then nah.
John would go, he upgrades all movie stats.
So I don't personally think the Civil War thing is happening. Because also for Civil War 2, you have to have Captain Marvel involved.
Right.
I don't know.
Captain Marvel was involved.
I don't know if you read the Civil War 2 comics.
I read a little bit about it.
I actually used to own the entire series. I don't know where they are now.
Oh wow.
It was actually one of my favorite little stories, and it was actually Iron Man and Cap versus Captain Marvel.
Oh, so she was the problem. She became the problem.
So what? Well, I'll tell you more about that series.
Yeah, later. when we crossed that path.
So we'll get into that, and I don't see Captain Marvel being involved here.
Right, there's no.
Because even though they try to kind of do their own thing, they still try to stick to the comic structure.
Right, in a way, yeah.
So while I do think there could be a point in time where we get maybe like Ironheart versus Captain Marvel, because obviously Iron Man's dead, so we can't get Iron Man involved.
Right. And Elijah, Isaiah's grandson, he can still play a part. And joining like Sam, for example, and then you can still get Don Cheadle's character because it seemed like he was more towards that military government type thing anyway.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because I think in this situation, Don Cheadle's character wanted Sam.
Okay, so you think he might join? Ooh, you think he could join Winter Soldier then?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a reverse, flip it, because he joined Iron Man. Now I can see that. So, but it just looks like they're setting up for something. It seems like they're setting up for a lot of things right now, from Young Avengers to something else.
So,
man.
One complaint I did have with the Don Cheadle character, I feel like he should at least be walking with a limp. All right, dude lost the
Well,
leg.
he got those mechanical.
And he got the mechanical ones
legs.
put on.
Yeah, mechanical legs.
But there should still be some awkwardness.
Like a little jittery to it.
Not super insane.
No.
But at least maybe like a little limp as he walks. Nah, dude.
He's like walking normal.
Nothing ever happened. He lost his legs.
You lost your legs in Civil War, man. You went head. You were just Stark. I'm free falling. Boom! I'm like, that was just a clank. All there was a noise. I'm like, now he's just walking normal. That's cool. Okay. He's gonna be in Armor Wars. He's the main person for that one, so that's gonna be fun.
So,
whenever that comes out.
What interests me, and this is the first time in a while I'm having a hard time coming up with any.
Yeah, you was lost.
Yeah. Predictions.
Yeah, he can't come with logical.
Like they absolutely destroyed everything.
The moment we saw him through his, when I saw him through his shield, I said, "Well, my predictions are out the goddamn window." He threw his shield. I'm like, he knows how to throw it now.
I still think at some point Cap's gonna get that super strength from the Power Broker.
Yeah, he's gonna
because he does. He's one of the only characters to get it from the Power Broker in the comics.
Right.
So I still feel like that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I still feel like it's going to end with a fight between Cap and Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Right.
My problem is where Zemo plays in all this, because at some point
he's going to get out.
They're going to convince Zemo to help them, and then Zemo's going to.
So you think he's going to help him? Okay, well, since it's not the one she's talking to.
That's why they're even going there. They're going there to see if he can help them because he's.
I was thinking the Flag Smashers was going to come and
no.
help from them. Okay.
No, so Sam and Bucky are there specifically because you got to remember, Flag Smashers aren't playing as actual villains.
Right.
Like they wouldn't side with Hydra.
Right.
That's not their thing.
Right.
At least willingly.
Willingly, at least.
For all we know, Power Broker could be
Baron's
the new leader of Hydra.
Hydra.
I don't think it's Baron Zemo.
Right.
Because Baron Zemo would have to have a phone, and he doesn't have a phone.
Right. You know what's bad? I think they're going to let him out. And he's just going to escape. He's going to escape, and that's it. That's going to be... It's already down a bad hole already, so let's make it more worse.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if for an episode, maybe an episode and a half, he actually does help them.
And then he just...
But then
towards
dips off.
He dips, and they're not going to know where he went to, because there's going to be so much... Because they're going to try to fight the Flag Smashers again, as you can see somewhere, and then he just dips. They're like, where did he go? Did you keep track of him? And I'm like, you motherfuckers. Y'all got one job to keep track of this person.
I'm still hoping we end with either the series. I'm still hoping we end with either Falcon becoming Captain America, or Isaac. Which, if you remember when we talked,
Isaac, the other guy, he's the other Captain America.
He was the first actual black Captain America in the comics,
right?
So I still wouldn't mind seeing either of those two situations happen. I mean, Isaac's still being shown in the credits.
Yes.
So
when you said, I pointed out, you pointed out, so that's him, okay. Because I know who he was the first till I saw it, so that's the guy they still keep showing. So obviously he's something, and they keep showing Agent 13 still around here somewhere. So seems like I like to know her involved with the Flag Smashers too. I mean, maybe she probably just.
No, I think she's definitely gonna be fighting against them.
No, I mean like I'm just forgetting, but maybe like she probably did some intel like Torres did, and side note, Torres, I actually looked up what he looked like. A real Falcon.
I told you.
A real Falcon. He looks like a real Falcon. With a bird, too.
Motherfucker don't want to believe me when I
tell him. And a bird. He actually has a Falcon bird. He has a bird.
Well, that's the thing, though. Red Wing is technically a bird.
Bird, but it's like a technical bird. But he got a real Falcon.
Like, that's what I'm saying. In the comics, Red Wing is an actual hawk.
Yes, Red Wing's a hawk. Yeah. Oh, in the comics, okay.
In the comics, it's not a mechanical...
bird thing that run by the government. It's a real bird.
That was probably my biggest disappointment. I was like, man,
I wanted to see the bird. I wanted to see the actual bird. And they said in Civil War, go ahead. It's Red Wing. Go ahead, pet him. I'm not petting that thing.
But yeah, so...
But yeah, I think Baron Zemo's going to get out, though. They're going to force his ass out,
Here's the thing.
Man.
I think the overall underlying story is going to be race and how Sam deals with it.
Right.
Because right now I feel like it's holding him back as a character.
Yeah.
Because he's... Don't get me wrong, there are times where he definitely should be looking at things negatively. The cops coming in the way that they did was bullshit.
That was bullshit. That whole thing was bullshit, yeah.
But not every single thing...
Right, my people... I'm talking about Hydra. Oh, okay. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
that's what he was talking about.
Not everything is... At least in the situations he's in.
All right, it's Hydra.
Is racial.
Or racial. It's not Hydra. Racial. It's all racism. Like, no. And hopefully, like honestly, we get into it with that.
I want to see him become comfortable with himself and be cool with the idea of being Captain America, in case they decide not to run with the Isaiah plot.
Right. Because Isaiah could die in this show, and that could be it. Maybe he was Captain America for 3 seconds, and that's it.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see where they go. I've absolutely loved the series.
Now, what's your rank toward it, though, for the episode?
As far as an overall ranking, I would definitely have to give it myself like an 8.5 out of 10.
Because I gave it a 9 for the first episode, but I'm going to give this one a 7. Just the whole.
Yeah, see, me and you flip flopped on this one. I think this was a much better episode.
I mean, the dynamic was there. It just had some.
That's all I want.
Questionable.
I don't care about anything else.
Yeah, I know you don't care about nothing else.
I'm here for the dynamic.
That dynamic of the two. Yeah, and maybe I should say like that, but yeah, I was like that. Maybe next episode it'll change me. But overall, I still like the series. I'm still going to just keep watching because what the hell? Like, it's a good show. I just think they're going to let Baron Zemo out, man.
Continue watching our podcast for the next 4 weeks as Ralph becomes more and more uncomfortable with our conversation.
Oh, God. Yeah, it's going to be great. Can't wait to do more. Go do more, man. We're going to do so much more. So much.
But yeah, so guys, that is going to do it. This has been an amazing episode. And an amazing
less news.
Podcast episode. There's not much
news. Yeah, we still somehow did our thing with it, man. Yeah.
This was the Star-Spangled Man. So, to everyone watching on YouTube, be sure to share it. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. We'll be here every week. Even when he plans on taking a vacation, I'm thinking about getting one of my friends to step in while he's gone, so we can continue doing what we do.
Right.
And yeah, so it's going to be a constant thing. So.
Yeah, we're gonna get so much. Even after the series, we're gonna do so much more. So much more.
And then everyone else that watches, thank you guys for watching on all other platforms. We are on several different platforms now.
Yeah, he told me, I said, we're on everywhere.
Yeah, we're like on Spotify, Google Podcasts,
yeah,
several other podcasts.
Well, he said Anchor like just goes in separate. I said, oh wow, we're everywhere. That is interesting. I am so happy.
I think iTunes told us to fuck off, but you know, it is what it is.
They literally put it, they fuck off like, oh, okay. But please watch it.
But yeah, thanks to everybody that listened. Thanks to everybody on YouTube that watched. We love y'all, and see y'all next week.
See you next week.
Excelsior!
See you later. Bye-bye.